is 1923.
Hi, I'm my average teammate. My metric number is 193F4A.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Zafi bin Muhammad Zahar. My metric number is 192006.
I'm Salman bin Muhammad Salim, metric number 194894. I'm from Group B3.
Okay, next I will explain you about the viscosity experiment. This is a temperature sensor at the middle. This is viscometer sensor. The two, and this is a protection for three sensor. This is a cup for the sample, and this is a device display. Firstly, the first step for this experiment, we put the sample with three sample, chili sauce, cooking oil, and use cooking oil. We put the sample in the cup and we adjust the level until the sensor, the viscometer sensor, is deep in the sample like this at the neck. And after that, we push the button start at the device display, and after 15 seconds, we push the button hold at the device display and take a reading, and push again the start button and take the reading every 30 seconds until the 10 minutes for one example. And we repeat the same step for the other two sample. It is cooking oil and use cooking oil. Okay, that's all from. Okay, next I will explain you about the procedure for the density experiment. This is the Emm3808 machine. The procedure is quite simple. Firstly, we use the syringe and we measure the 10 ml of distilled water. Then we inject into this machine. After that, we just start the machine and calculate the measurement and put in the table. We do two temperature, that is 3 degrees Celsius, 30 degrees Celsius, and 50 degrees Celsius. Okay. While we do this experiment, precaution step is we do not have a vibration during this experiment. Okay, that's all from me.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Zafi bin Muhammad Zahar, and my metric number is 192006. Okay, so this is the results for the experiment. So as we can see, the experimental density and the theoretical density of water is different, and as the temperature increases, both the experimental and theoretical value of the density of the water decreases, and the percentage error increases.
So now we'll be moving on to the calculation and results of the density experiment. So for this experiment, it didn't involve any calculation because it just involved us taking the reading of the density of distilled water at different temperature intervals. In this case, it was a difference of 10 degrees Celsius. So as we see, as the temperature increases, for example, at 30 degrees Celsius, the density was approximately 0.9928, and then as the temperature reading was taken at 40 Celsius, now the density dropped to 0.9875, and then as 50 dropped subsequently, and this goes in line with the theoretical values that was measured, and the readings that were taken, that we took, just came in at error percentage of maximum 0.68, which is considered to be acceptable. So now moving on to why the readings, as temperature goes up, density is affected by temperature, pressure, and volume. So as temperature goes up, you can see that density, it goes down.
As a conclusion, the experiment that we've done in the lab gave us a result that whenever a distilled water is exposed to the different level of heat, it will become denser, and as the temperature become higher, the distilled water will give different value of density. The factors that affect the density of a material is not just because of the temperature, but also because of the pressure and the volume. That's all from us. Thank you.
Okay, so for the application that can related to the engineering world, for viscosity, the real life application of liquid with low viscosity is one. The example is breadfruit. Breadfruit transmit force through the braking system, and it will not operate properly if it had a different viscosity. And it also used in the lubricant for motion system, also work the way they do in the part as a result of their viscosity. And it also, and viscosity is used as a coolant while machining at lead shop. So for the use of density in engineering world, okay, so for the use in density can be used in ship and submarine. One well-known application of density is determining whether or not an object will float on water. If the object density is less than the density of the water, it will float. If its density is less than that of water, it will sink. Ship can float because they have ballast tank that hold air. This tank provide large volume of little mass, thus decreasing the density of the ship. Together with the buoyant force that the water exerts on the ship, this reduces the density and enable the ship to float. In fact, submarines dive below the surface of the water by emptying their ballast tank. So that is the application of the density and viscosity to engineering world. Thank you.